Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the analysis of Yoleno TV. I'm glad you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. Once again, I'd like to say thank you so much for those who've been supporting our channel. Now, the name IRENE MASIT has now become a household name, especially because of this ongoing battle with the election tribunal. I don't want to go into the details of who IRENE MASIT is, because we literally know that she is the only commissioner who has decided to stay put. I think the fact that IRENE MASIT has stayed put speaks volume. This is not something that people should just consider as a very small thing. I think IRENE MASIT akuna ujasiri fulani ndani yake, and that explains why she's not willing to resign, and at the same time she has shocked Kenyans again by saying that she'll drop a bombshell. I've seen so many analysts talk about this as to having been, that she's likely to expose the Chebukati faction. But you see, I think people should look at IRENE MASIT in two angles. One, IRENE MASIT can decide to go after Chebukati, or can decide to go after those who are purported to have been financing the CHERERA force. But at the moment, what we do know, we as Kenyans know that IRENE MASIT is hell-bent on exposing what Chebukati did. I would have loved to start with to talk about the CHERERA, the other CHERERA three commissioners who have resigned, but that will be taking a lot of your time. So there are certain demands that IRENE MASIT made, and the first demand was that the CCTV footage at Yaya Hotel, the one that was exposed, IRENE MASIT demanded that evidence not to be used during this tribunal, because that would be like introducing evidences. And again, IRENE MASIT had decided to say that is infringing in his privacy right, and that Yaya Hotel is a public entity, and that people are allowed to walk in and out. There is a part where IRENE MASIT says that the people who trooped to Yaya Hotel were both from Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza team. So it is not really Azimio only, but then the Kenya Kwanza also trooped into that hotel. So she has promised to drop a bombshell on this latest expose. So what do you expect from that, from what IRENE MASIT is going to expose? I think there are a couple of people who IRENE MASIT will have to name, because I think the fact that that footage has been released speaks volume, and again, it only indicates that there are a lot of things that are going to be unleashed throughout this tribunal exercise. So now, the second demand that IRENE MASIT issued was that he wanted the tribunal hearing process to be deferred. Why? Because according to what she alleges is that Muchelule and the team have already have a predetermined verdict, and that the whole process of grilling is just to ni kama kitu ya kuhoodwink, in English is hoodwink Kenyans. It's just something meant to fool Kenyans, but the end result is that all the four commissioners were to be fired permanently. And I think that was going to affect the reputation of all these commissioners, and perhaps that explains why CHERERA, Wanderi, and Nyang'aya had to resign. They resigned because they wanted to protect their integrity or protect their reputation. But IRENE MASIT had decided to stay put, and I think I have a lot of respect for that move, because that explains, that shows us that there could be a lot of things that IRENE MASIT knows about. That's why she's refusing to resign amid all the threats, amid all these propagandas that are being propelled, she's still staying put. So there is a tweet that was shared from IRENE MASIT, and this is what IRENE MASIT said: "I'm not ready to quit, and Kenya should expect a bombshell during my appearance before Justice Agri Muchelule-led tribunal." That was IRENE MASIT on the management of this year's presidential election. "I am not ready to quit, and I will drop a bombshell on Justice Agri Muchelule-led tribunal." So a number of people are waiting on this tweet. Most people are saying, asking, why did Masit not spill the beans during the High Court and Supreme Court proceedings on last August 2022 presidential election petition? Hot hair, no effect. That is what Twitter handle by the name Visioners is saying. Professor Alfred Omeny said, "I support IRENE MASIT's refusal to resign. For the sake of truth and justice, all the commissioners should have subjected themselves to the tribunal. Kenyans need to know the truth about fixing of presidential elections for the future stability of our nation." I think what Professor Alfred is saying makes a lot of sense, because if the other three commissioners are not resigned, then I think this tribunal exercise would have remained, would have been very interesting. But either way, I think it is still going to be interesting, because according to what Agri Muchelule said previously in his statement, he said that the three commissioners will still face the tribunal. So that means what Professor Alfred is insinuating will still happen. Those three commissioners will still shed light on presidential election fixing. If at all Chebukati was involved in fixing, then we will know in this tribunal exercise. But the only problem that we see with this whole thing is that threats are already emerging. Like, for example, IRENE MASIT was threatened to first resign, relinquish the cars, and relinquish any benefit that she enjoys by virtue of the fact that she's a commissioner. But we know the High Court protected, the Court Appeal protected IRENE MASIT, saying that she is entitled to all those benefits because she's a commissioner. So that was a setback to those people, or the faction that was hell-bent on making sure that IRENE MASIT falls. It was a major setback. So while still on this issue of IRENE MASIT, I managed to dig deep into the qualifications of IRENE MASIT and realized that IRENE MASIT hails from Elgeyo Marakwet and is one of the most learned scholars in the country. According to the sources, she holds 2 bachelor's degrees, a Bachelor of Law from the University of Nairobi and a Bachelor of Arts in Social Work. Apart from her law degree, she also holds a postgraduate diploma from the Kenya School of Law. The commissioner also holds a Master's in Strategic Human Resource Management from the University of Manchester in the United Kingdom. So she is a learned fella. So that means whatever IRENE MASIT will say during the tribunal is something that is coming from someone who is learned, someone who knows herself. So we should expect bombshells if that's what IRENE MASIT has promised Kenyans, a bombshell. If that is the case, then that is what we expect. The mere fact that IRENE MASIT is staying put speaks volume. It speaks volume because I think, from what I've read to you about the academic qualifications, I think IRENE MASIT is someone who is knowledgeable, someone who knows whatever she's doing. And for that case, we expect a lot from IRENE MASIT grilling. So, ladies and gentlemen, kindly shout your thoughts up below the comment section there. Do you think IRENE MASIT will make a positive impact in this grilling? Kindly shout your thoughts up. And once again, I'd like to say thank you so much for supporting this channel. And once again, I'd like to urge you to stay safe and stay blessed until we catch up again in our next analysis.